All right, so the next movie on our list is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, and that was released on March 22nd, 1991. It stars Paige Turco, who you probably don't know, and she actually was a recast because Judith Hoag was April O'Neil in the first one. And then David Warner plays this scientist guy at this place where they make this ooze. And, okay, so this is going to sound ridiculous. Okay, so this is my plot synopsis. A dole of high school age humanoid reptiles face off once again with their villain Shredder and the creatures he creates. Now, I had to look up what a group of turtles was to get the word dole. And I was so proud of that one. I'm like, oh, I can actually get like a little like a journalistic type thing here. Yes, a dole of humanoid reptiles. For those of you that don't know, like the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that came out in 1990, it was a much darker movie than this sequel, and it was a lot more violent. You know, it had more foul language, and it was... Basically, there was a lot of backlash from parents at the time who were just like, this is way too violent, and this is obviously...
It had an angsty teen.
Right, for sure. So basically, they kind of fed into all of that backlash when they started making this second movie. From the very beginning, it's a much brighter, lighter, both literally and not so literally. Like, it's so much less serious, and it's so much more lighthearted about everything. And... So, I mean, like, I don't know if you notice that as much as I always notice it. In this movie, the Turtles almost never use their weapons.
You know, I don't know that I was conscious of that rewatching it, but now that you mention it, you're right. I think April O'Neil uses nunchucks more than Michelangelo does.
So, like, Casey Jones was played by Elias Koteas in the first one, and people complained about how he was, you know, this guy in a hockey mask that
bashing people with baseball bats.
And so they didn't like that, so they replaced him with this younger guy, Keno, and he was basically just this G-rated version to replace that character. But it's like throughout this whole opening sequence, Michelangelo uses like sausages instead of nunchucks. Mm-hmm. The only time Leonardo uses his swords is to stick them into the ceiling to use them for leverage. He doesn't fight anybody with them.
He doesn't actually stab anyone with it.
Right. There is this extended sequence with Donatello. He's using like this foam bat to fight this guy. And this guy is reacting like he's being clubbed, like he's being beaten down with a wooden bat. And he is getting hit with like the nerfiest of Nerf
like a pool
bats.
noodle.
Like, yeah, it's just, it takes away. Like, that's the big gripe I have. Of course, when I was a kid, I loved this movie. And I struggled when I was coming up with my rating. I waffled back and forth.
Yep,
because
so did I.
it was like, God, I fucking like, I adored this movie when I was a child. And it's like, now that I've had a chance to rewatch the movies since, it's like, I recognize that there are some deep flaws in this one. It's much more silly, but I'm sorry, I'm doing all the talking right now, so I'll let you get to it.
I wanted to just let you go, man. I usually do all the talking, so. But this is one IP where you and I, despite being a few years apart, I think we were both obsessed with Ninja Turtles when we were a kid.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the cartoons, the toys, the movies, the video games, everything. I had, the comic books. If it was Ninja Turtles, I had it. I wanted it. So this one, similarly, my heart said one thing. My head is now saying something else slightly. But I remember this movie being amazing. It was the second greatest movie ever made after the first one. It was amazing. Super Shredder was like so mind-blowing. And it was so funny. Like, I remember when they're sneaking around the junkyard and they're looking for Raph, who had been taken hostage, and they're like, yeah, it's a little too quiet, and it's a little too this. When they find Raph, and he says, a little too Raph, when I was 8 years old, I thought that was like the pinnacle of clever, witty, hilarious script writing. I thought that was the funniest line ever.
Right. And it's just like the dumbest fucking bit to do. It's so great.
I tried to like, view it through the eyes of an 8-year-old and be like, this movie was not made for a guy in his middle ages. Like, this is made for 8-year-olds. I hate it when they do like cheesy sound effects in a movie, you know, like somebody punches and it goes boing, you know, something like that. It always drives me nuts. But at the same time, it's made for 8-year-olds, right?
Right.
And, you know, when he like impersonates the Weeble Wobble and the foot soldier or gang member or whoever it is like poking him and he's wobbling, he's like, I'm not sure if this is one of those giant reptilian humanoids or a toy.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, he, you know, bops him or whatever. It's like that kind of stuff. It's like, when I was 8, it was hilarious. I was like, oh, he's got no idea. Oh, man, he's going to punch him.
Oh, my God.
But, like, the only thing that I remember as a critical 8-year-old actually complaining about a little bit at the time, like the one thing that I thought that the writers completely whiffed on, was I didn't understand why they created those two creatures and not Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yeah, I heard that was... I was reading a little something about that it was basically like they wanted to do that, and for some reason, like, whoever the producers were just didn't want to do it. And it
seems like a classic case of some studio exec somewhere. You know those characters are a hit. They're already a hit. They're already two of the main bumbling bad guys of a multi-million-dollar franchise that millions of kids are obsessed with. Like, why would you feel the need to change that?
A home run option to just use existing,
and talk about not wanting to take risks in making sequels. Like, I didn't get it. And in fact, that was one thing that jumped out at me even more on this rewatched, was how right before they pour the ooze in to create them, they stop to verify that these are the two most ferocious animals we could find, and it's a German Shepherd and a snapping turtle.
Yes. Like, my God.
Not a wild boar and a rhinoceros or something, you know, which would at least be more ferocious, right, and intimidating. It's a snapping turtle and a German Shepherd. Like,
one of my favorite things is when they transform. And, you know, like, you later find out that the scientists that, you know, use the ooze on them to make them into these giant creatures. I love when they are revealed, and it's very clear that they're of below average intelligence. And Shredder comes and he goes, they're babies! And he's just, like, so fucking pissed off. I fucking love it. Oh my God.
By the way, I did note the Japanese voices sound a little dated. Like,
a little bit, yeah. I would say so. You know what I love is, like, the whole lore of, like, they do flashback origin of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Splinter in the original movie, and there's this moment in this movie where Donatello is, like, really distraught when he finds out, like, whoa, wait a minute, are you telling me that this whole thing with us becoming what we are now was just an accident? And he's, like, all bummed out, and I'm like, of course it was a fucking accident. Like,
we've been over this.
Right. Like, this is very clearly not a deliberate, planned out thing. Like, you can believe, you know, whatever you want to believe beyond that, but it's like, no, it's pretty clear that, like, somebody didn't orchestrate this. It was an incidental thing that just happened to happen. I don't see why that's, like, a huge revelation. I do like Paige Turco better as April O'Neil. I
agree.
Significantly more attractive, I would say, than Judith Hogue, because she is a lot more likable, I think. Definitely a lot better. There's also this incredible scheme that is hatched by the Turtles to take down Toka and Razor, which is to develop an antidote and freeze it into ice cubes and put it into donuts and feed the donuts.
I think they compacted it into like pills, basically.
Okay, so it's not like actually frozen. It's just like,
no, I don't think
they use the ice cube trays for molding it. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah,
okay,
so.
But it's just like they take them, and it's just like Shredder, the entire Foot Clan, Shredder's right hand man, and Toka and Razor. They meet them at this abandoned warehouse, and there is like zero questioning of any of their motives. Of like, oh, let's have a pre-fight donut. It's like,
and everybody's just watching, like, oh, yeah,
Shredder
let's let this happen.
doesn't like raise his hand and be like, what the fuck are you talking about? We don't do a pre-fight donut. This has got to be something that you are trying to fucking do. Oh my god, but I love it. This movie is like remarkably short. Like I always forget that I'm like, by the time we get to the point where they're giving them the donuts, it's like 20 minutes maybe left in the movie. Yeah. But you know what scene I cannot go without mentioning in this?
I'll give you 5 words. 5 words. Go ninja, go ninja, go.
Okay. Yes. Oh my god. So great. And it's funny, I didn't know who Vanilla Ice was when I first saw this movie. I had no idea. I didn't know what Ice Ice Baby was. Right, I'm sure you
I was just old enough, I definitely knew who Vanilla Ice was.
So when I realized that it was him, and I'm like, oh my god, I cannot believe he did that. Like, how did he not recognize that this was a bit of a career misstep for him? Like, it was not the best idea.
I think his career was going to go in a certain direction regardless of where he stands.
I agree. It was just, he lost what little credibility he had with almost anybody by doing this movie. And not only that, putting a song that was written for the movie in it that is all about Ninja Turtles and like kid stuff.
I was going to compliment his clear freestyling chops. I mean, here he is in this concert. He doesn't expect a bunch of Ninja Turtles to come busting through the wall, and on the spot he comes up with an entire song about it.
Exactly. And you know what's weird, I mean, is it almost seems like
that's talent.
Yeah, it is. It's like he almost knows more about the Turtles than he ever should based on seeing them like one single time. He knows they're ninjas. He knows that they're mutants, blah, blah, blah. I mean...
You know, he inferred. He saw the ninja gear and the headbands and everything.
Right. I mean, there's only so many assumptions
turtles.
You can make.
They're clearly ninjas.
Oh, yeah.
They're clearly the good guys. Go ninja. Go ninja, go.
Right. And I mean, obviously, we won't get into the science of any of the things. You know, like they just kind of fucking... I mean, they just make stuff up as they go. Oh, let's use fire extinguishers to make the Toka and Razor convert back into what they were before. But like you said, we get Super Shredder at the end of this movie.
Which was awesome.
Oh, incredible.
Although it didn't occur to me until this watch that his armor also grows and changes and evolves from the
It never occurred to me either. It was like, it was the revelation. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But you know what my favorite part is how Super Shredder comes to be is it Michelangelo plays, is it a guitar or a keytar? Super loud. A keytar, and the force of the sound coming out of the speaker is what catapults Shredder like 100 feet, if not more. Yes. And he's just like, they're just like, oh, okay, well, and then all of a sudden he's combined with this ooze and he's become Super Shredder. As amazing as that was when I was a little kid, I could not believe. It felt really anticlimactic this time around. It felt like
it did.
It's way too easy. Like,
I expected more. Like in my head, it was a bigger fight than, well, now he's huge. Just throw him through a dock, he'll die.
Right. Let him punch his way into collapsing this dock on him, and then the dock just literally kills him. Like almost no effort. Like it's just like all it is, and you wouldn't think based on how powerful this guy is that he's literally punching through these like huge beams. Yeah, it's like you wouldn't think that would kill him, but I guess it is what it is. I guess I mean it's science.
So all of this nostalgia aside, it's corny, but it comes with the territory, right? I feel like you accept the level of corny when you're watching a movie that's specifically made for 8-year-olds. Right? Yes, a live action cartoon is essentially what you're watching, but. That being what it is, I was torn like you were. On one hand, like my heart wanted to give it like an S, but my head was a little bit a little bit lower than that. I was still waffling though between like a B or a C, given like what it's trying to be and who it's made for. So I'm somewhere in there. I want to say B, but really it's probably more of a C.
I changed my rating between B and C no fewer than 5 times leading up to this recording. I couldn't I'm like, God, like, you know, little kid Brandon would punch me in the face if I gave this a C. Like, I can't believe this. But, I mean, I ultimately landed on C because if I was trying to look at it like that, like setting it aside, what I thought of it as a kid, what is this movie now? And this movie, it is way too lighthearted and silly, especially in comparison to the first movie that we got that was, in my opinion, much, much, much better. And it was a lot more, you know, gritty, grimy, but obviously parents didn't like it. So I gave it a C, but it was a struggle. There was a dilemma.
Yep, I said a nostalgic B, but probably really a C, and all the same reasons. Like, if I really separate my own nostalgia from it, you can't really go higher than a C.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. So, yeah. So far the prophecy is coming true, Dan. I think that we're agreeing a lot about this stuff.
Yeah, I think we're going to continue to agree as well.
Yeah.
I'm here to welcome you to Brandon at Random Review. No method when I choose. It's Brandon at Random Reviews. If you're looking for a man